All right, thank you so much all for joining me in the second lecture of today, and this is going to be again very important. This is only the second. I have already given you the description that we have to take at least 7 lecture. Only then all today's topics shall be completed successfully. So now I'm just going to brief you regarding what we are going to teach in this specific session. So this is relating to job analysis. Then what are the different methods of job analysis and what are the different terminologies involved in the job analysis. So regarding job description, we have already taken your lecture and you would have all understood what's the meaning of a job description is. After the job description, here comes the concept of a job analysis, which we have to go through. And for job analysis, there are three different questions for which we have to find the answer. The very first question is, what's the meaning of a job analysis and how this is done? And secondly, what are the methods involved in the process of job analysis? What's the meaning of a job description and job specification? And finally, we shall try to answer the question that what are the different terminologies involved in the process or in the subject matter of a job analysis. So this is all the description about that. So now I have taken the confirmation from you all. My audio and video is completely being listened and seen by you right now. And now I'm just going to share the screen so that you can see what we have prepared for you in this particular lecture. So this is Gurpal Singh from Gurpal Education, and now I'm just going to share my lecture with you, and you have to be very careful in each and every word being spoken by me. Now I'm just going to share the screen so that everything is visible to you. All right, so now we have to go through the concept and content regarding job analysis and what are the methods involved in job analysis and what are the different kind of terminologies which we have to go through in the case of job analysis. Okay, so first of all, I must tell you that we have already gone through from the concept of job designs or designing of the job. So what is there in job design? I taught you that you have to design or create job in a way so that it satisfies the organizational goals and as well as the individual goal. And what the job analysis is, job analysis can be considered to be the part of the complete job design. Okay, so this is just a part of job design. And in this specific lecture, we are going to take the answer of or find the answer of three questions. First of all, this is what is job analysis? And the second question shall be what are the different methods for analyzing the job? And finally, what are the different new terms involved in the job process? Okay, so this is going to be the three most important topics which we have to cover in this specific lecture. And then we shall be moving further towards the next question. So this is job analysis. I have already told you that this can be considered to be the part of a job description. What is this? So this is just a systematic way to gather and analyze information about the content and human requirement of the job. Okay, now understand these two words only. Job analysis means analyzing the contents of the job, contents or requirements of the job, and requirements of a human resources or requirement of the employee who shall actually perform that job. Okay, so suppose there is a vacancy of a lecturer in the college. So what shall be the job analysis for that? First is what duties there are to perform that specific lecturer job, and what are the human specifications, like what are the level of personality, attitude, skills, and knowledge required for performing that specific job. So we can categorize the process of job analysis into two parts. First of all, we have to decide about the content of that specific job, and secondly, we have to decide about the human specifications or requirements to provide to perform that specific kind of job. So this is a systematic way to gather information about the content and human requirement of job and the context in which jobs are performed. This is just other thing, but we have to stick to only two. This is content of the job and the human requirements or human specification. When you do analysis of these two things, this is called job analysis. So this is usually involving collecting information on characteristics of a job that differentiate it from other jobs. Like there is the job of a lecturer, okay, there is the job of a head of a department, there is the job of a clerk, there is the job of a principal, okay, there is job of a principal, and there is job of vice principal. So all these jobs are different, and what what does make these uh, jobs different, these jobs are different, okay, what does make these job different? The only thing that make these job different with each other, this is job analysis, because there are a different kind of job contents for every job, and there are different kind of human specifications or requirements for performing that specification for that specific job. Like for lecturer, different skills are required. For performing job of HOD, different skills are required. For performing clerical job, different skills are required. And content of all the job is extremely different. Okay, so in this way, we can say that the job analysis simply means that analyzing of the content of the job, and as well as analyzing about the human requirements or specifications. So I have taught you regarding what the job analysis is. So the next task for the organization is to collect the data so that they can find how the job should be analyzed. Okay. So there are new jobs opening for any organization, and these jobs should be formed by analyzing the previous jobs. So by going through the previous jobs, the board of director or the higher authorities comes to know that what kind of new job contents and human specifications must be there. Okay, human specifications. So first of all, the organization or the board of director have to collect the data so that the new contents and the new human specifications could be made, uh, and the new jobs can be created in the organization. So now we are going towards the method of how to collect the data for job analysis. Okay. For making a complete job analysis simply means what are the contents required for the job and what are the human specification required. And how do you get to know that what contents are required and what human resources specifications are required? These are known only by collecting the data from the previous jobs. And I am going to tell you right now what are different methods for collecting the data which are helpful for the job analysis. So first is observation, in which what happens, a manager just go here and there and he watches the workers performing all the jobs and he observe them, and he write about all the tasks and duties performed for specific job, and in this way he get to know what are the contents of the job and what are different human specification required to perform that specific job. So I'm going to tell you, when the observation method is used, a manager, a job analyst, or industrial engineer observes the tasks and duties performed. He just observe these. Observation may be continuous or may be at intermittent sampling. So he just observe what are the tasks performed and what are duties performed. So he just analyze what are the contents of the job, are what are human specifications are there for performing a job. This is the first method for collecting the data of job analysis. The second is critical incidence technique or work sampling. This is that the manager do not have the full time or a full day for observing all the jobs. Then what does he do? He simply take the note of only the critical incidents performed for a specific job. Okay, for the job of anyone, like clerical job or principal job, vice principal job, or any job, he do not take into account or write or observe all the duties performed, but he just take into consideration only the incidents which are critically important to perform that specific job. So a manager can determine the content and pace of a typical work day throughout statistical sampling or certain actions only or incidents only rather than through continuous observation. So he lists only those actions or incidents of the job which are necessary to perform the job. In this way, they collect the information regarding content and human specifications for performing a specific job. So now we move to the third method. This is employee diary or log. Okay, in this method, what happens? The manager asks that the employee has to create their own diary or create their own log. They have to write on a daily or weekly basis what duties are they are performing and what are the requirements of the job. So in this way, after weekly or monthly, they just read the diary written by the employee and they get to know what are the different contents required for performing a job and what are the different human specifications. So this is known as another method. Requires that employee observe their own performance by keeping a diary or log of their jobs, noting how frequently they are performed and the time required for each duty. So they are asked to prepare a diary for themselves so that that diary could be used by the managers to know the content and human specification of a certain job. Then we have to move to the next point. This is interviewing. Okay, this is just interviewing. In this, what happens? The job specialist or manager or HR specialist personally go on the job site. On the job site he goes and he talk with the employees who are actually performing the job. Okay, and he ask them the questions regarding what duties they are performing and what kind of skill is required for performing that specific duty. So this is called interviewing. And in this method, the content and the human specification of the job are arrived at by the organization. So this, in this method, the interview method of gathering information required manager or HR specialist to visit job site and talk with employees performing each job. So in this way, they get the information regarding the job contents and job specification. Then this is a questionnaire. This is a widely used method. What is this? A questionnaire is prepared and this is given to employees. The manager or the HR specialist do not go personally, but they write the questionnaire and they just send this to the employee, and employees are asked to fill that specific questionnaire, and this questionnaire contains the different questions regarding the job which are related to duties performed and skill required for that specific job. When they receive the questionnaire back, then they get to know what are the different contents required to perform a job and what are the different human specifications which must be there for performing a specific job. So a survey instrument is developed and given to employee and managers to complete. So in this way, the organization can get to know what are the different job specifications and requirements are there. I have taught you successfully the methods for collecting data for job analysis. I taught you that job analysis involves the analysis of content or the job duties and the skills. These are human specifications or requirement. So these two, one or two things are to be analyzed and jointly they make the job analysis. And how do you get the data for analyzing a specific job? There are 5 methods. First is observation, secondly critical incidents method, then diary log, employee diary log, then interviewing is there, and finally the questionnaire system is there. These things I have taught you completely. Now we have to move further. What are the terminologies involved in a specific job? Suppose this is job of a clerk. What are the different terminologies involved? I have taken these terminologies specifically in this lecture. The only reason is one or two times the questions regarding these terminologies have been asked, and you must know what's the meaning of each and every term relating to a specific job. So we are going to take a single example of a clerk, and we shall be understanding all the terminologies on the basis of this specific job. So what is task? This is the first terminology. What is task? This is just identifiable piece of work. Like in the duty of a clerk, he is to type a letter or he is to send an email. He has to send an email. So this is just a single task. So a task which can be identified separately in a job, this is known as a task. What is this? This is an identifiable work activity carried out for specific purpose. Okay. For example, typing a letter on sending an email. This is a task. So what is a duty? This is the second terminology. Several tasks which are related to each other. Okay, then this is not sending just one email, but sending the emails regularly on daily basis. So this is the duty. So this is the complete duty. So we can say that when similar tasks are performed, not a single task, but a task, not just once, but for more than once, this ultimately becomes your duty. Okay, several tasks which are related by some sequence of events. For example, pick up, sort out, deliver incoming email. Okay, so this is the duty. So tasks mean simply one part of the job. When this part is performed repeatedly, that becomes your duty. And the third one is your position. So a collection of tasks and duties which are performed by one person, that becomes your position. Suppose a position of a PA, personal assistance to chairman. Uh, he receives visitors. This is a different duty. He just takes dictation, whatever the notes are there. He operates the computer. He answer the queries. He attend the complaints and help the students. So these are all the things. Okay. So these are all the duties which are performed by the specific persons. And when you sum all the tasks and all the duties performed by a single person, that ultimately makes your position for a job. Okay, so three terminologies we have gone through. Fourth one is a job. Fourth one is a job, a group of positions similar to their significant duties. Group of positions like job of a salesman, job of a technical assistance, job of a computer program. So it involves everything in this. This involves tasks as well. This involves duties as well. So this involves in this completely involves the position as well. When we take these three together, then they make a single job. Okay, job is made up by summing up all these three things. Okay, so a group of positions similar in their significant duties. Okay, so when there are similar kind of duties or similar kind of tasks and position, all these summed up to make a specific job. So this thing we have covered in this, and I think four terminologies I have already taught you in this specific lecture. And then there is a job of family. Okay, job of family. So it's not that there can be only one department. There can be department one, there can be department two, department third, department fourth. In each department, there can be a salesman which is known as salesman 1, there can be salesman 2, there can be salesman 3, there can be salesman 4. So there are four salesman duties, four salesman positions, and these different positions in different departments are known as job families. So group of different jobs that need similar skills, different jobs that need similar skills. like sales job and clerical jobs as well. Okay, they create your job families. This is the first example. And the second example, if I'm going to tell you, uh, suppose there is a programmer in department 1, okay, and in department 2 there is a clerk. Okay, they both need similar skills. He must have the knowledge of a computer. Okay, and he also must have the knowledge of a computer. They need the similar skills, and in which there is need of a similar skills. Okay, then they make the job family. So there are two parts how the job families can be created. First of all, if there are different similar jobs performed but in a different departments, they make your job family. And secondly, if there are different departments and different jobs but they need the exactly similar skill, then this will be known as a job family. Like I am lecturer in department 1, somebody can be lecturer in department 2, somebody can be lecturer in department 3. We share similar skills, so they make our job family. Now we move further to the next terminology. This is the job code. When you assign numerical letter or any number for differentiating different jobs, like for principal, we can assign number 1. For clerical department, we can assign number 2. For assistant professor, we can assign number 3, or we can allot their single roll numbers so that we can differentiate between them if need be there. This is known as job code. A job code uses number letter both to provide a quick summary of a job and its content. Okay, so that their job can be differentiated and about its summary can be known as soon as possible. So now we move to the next terminology. This is job specification or job classification. Sorry. What's meaning of that? The grouping of jobs on some basis, such as the nature of work done and the level of pay. Okay, like a grade 1 officer, grade 2 officers. Okay, they can possess the different kind of requirements, but if they share or they use some specific basis, okay, if we can easily group some of the jobs in the organization, then we can say that this is called the job classification. Okay, if we can group those, suppose if there are performed 15 jobs in the organization, but we can classify these into only 3 categories: grade 1 jobs, grade 2 jobs, and grade 3 jobs. Okay, these are jobs of higher level authorities, these are job of middle level authorities, these are jobs of the lower level authority. So if we classify whole of the jobs of the organization into some verifiable parts, so this is known as job classification, and this is the next terminology involved in the job analysis process. So now we move further to the next terminology. This is job analysis. We have already gone through. This is just gathering information about the job, and this is today's topic, which emphasize upon collecting the job content and the human resources specification or skills required to perform a specific job. This is known as job analysis. Okay. Next, this is job description. This is just a part of job analysis. And we have bifurcated the job analysis into 2 parts. The first I have told you about the content of the job. And this is same as job description. This is a written summary of tasks, duties, responsibilities of a job. So job content under the job analysis is similar as job description. And what is the next one? This is human resources specification. This is the next one. This is the job specification. So this is the summary of skills, education, and experience of an individual to do a job. So simply we can say that the job analysis is the sum of 2 things. First is content required, and the second one is human resources specification require. Content ultimately becomes your job description, and human resources specification becomes your job specification. So in this way, you can get to know that the bifurcation of job analysis can be done into two parts. Now, this next terminology is job evaluation, evaluating the job and finding its relative worth for the company. Okay, this is known as job evaluation. How much a job is worth for the organization, like the job of a principal, how much this is important for the organization, job of a lecturer, how much this is important for the organization. Just making evaluation of this is known as job evaluation. So this was the next terminology. I think this is the last one, this which is known as job sharing. When one job is scheduled in a way that this is shared by workers, at least two workers. Okay, suppose at one specific day I am absent from my college, then my roles and my duties are assigned to some other lecturers. Okay, so this is the process of job sharing, in which two or more than two persons share a similar job on scheduling basis. So all in all, what we have done in this specific lecture is job analysis and methods of job analysis and terminologies involved. If we are making the conclusion of that, we can say job analysis is just the systematic way to gather information regarding content of the job and human requirement of the job. Then we did about how to collect the data for analyzing the job. There were some ways, like observation was there, then critical incident was there, then employee diary log was there, then interviewing is there, then questionnaire system is there. And after that we did uh, what are the different terminologies involved in a specific job. These were, first of all, the tasks. After that there is duty, then there is position, then there is job, then there is job families, then job code, then there is job classification, then there is job analysis, job description, specification, then job evaluation, and finally there was job sharing. So I hope I was able to teach you all regarding that. Now, in the next lecture, we shall be doing that. What are the methods of job analysis, for which I have already given the information? These are only two, I think. What are the further bifurcation of job analysis? The job analysis can further be bifurcated into two parts, which I have already given you information about, and in detail we shall be doing in the next class, which is going to be taken after 10 minutes from now onwards. And I hope you would have all understood these, all the concept and subject matter. And if you have understood these, then only then you can expect that you can understand the upcoming lectures as well. So thank you so much for joining me in this lecture. So we shall be meeting right after 10 minutes from now onwards.